Imagine a weapon that can travel 1,000 miles, hug the ground at 50 feet to stay invisible to radar, and hit a specific window with pinpoint accuracy. When the United States military needs to dismantle a dictator's air defense or vaporize a command center 20 feet underground, they send a Tomahawk. In less than 60 minutes, this missile wiped out 20% of the Syrian Air Force. Now imagine this weapon in Ukrainian hands, capable of reaching Moscow. The Kremlin is terrified. This is the story of the most iconic symbol of American combat power, and what happens if Ukraine gets it. What makes the Tomahawk the ultimate weapon? Can Russia compete? The Tomahawk represents 4 decades of American technological dominance. At its core is a Williams International turbofan engine, propelling the missile over 1,500 miles. But the real genius is the guidance system. Military-grade GPS, inertial navigation, terrain mapping radar, and optical sensors recognizing targets from satellite photos. Each system alone is cutting edge. Combining them into one package, that's American innovation. Russia claims their Caliber missile matches the Tomahawk, but intelligence reports from Ukraine reveal 30% of Russian cruise missiles either malfunction or miss targets. 30% failure rate. Why? Russia lacks 3 critical advantages. First, semiconductor manufacturing. Russia doesn't have cutting-edge chip facilities. Second, materials science, the advanced alloys America perfected over decades. Third, software integration. Russia's state-controlled defense industry can't innovate like America's partnership between defense contractors and Silicon Valley. You can't just copy a Tomahawk. The supply chains, precision manufacturing, and quality control take generations. Russia isn't there. The Tomahawk carries a 1,000-pound warhead designed to penetrate hardened structures, reinforced concrete bunkers with 3-foot walls, command centers buried 20 feet underground. The warhead doesn't explode on impact. It penetrates first. The hardened nose punches through concrete like a drill. Only after penetrating deep inside does it detonate. When 1,000 pounds of explosives go off in an enclosed underground space, the overpressure is devastating. Personnel, equipment, communications, everything obliterated. This changes warfare fundamentally. Throughout history, commanders operated from protected bunkers. The Tomahawk shattered that assumption. No bunker is safe. Syria proves it. In 2017, Assad used chemical weapons. 59 Tomahawks struck Shayrat Air Base. Hardened aircraft shelters costing millions were penetrated and destroyed. Underground fuel storage ruptured. Command facilities reduced to rubble. 20% of Syria's air force eliminated in under an hour. Now imagine Ukraine with this capability. Every Russian command post within 1,500 miles becomes vulnerable. Ammunition depots in Crimea, gone. Command bunkers destroyed. Headquarters inside Russia, suddenly at risk. It usually starts in the dead of night. Somewhere in the Mediterranean or Pacific, a message arrives that changes everything. On the bridge of a Navy destroyer, tension is palpable as the ship maneuvers into the launch basket, the exact point where the predator is unleashed. The Tactical Action Officer, the TAO, takes control. This officer executes strike orders from the highest command levels. The vertical launch system is armed, final targeting data uploaded, authorization codes verified. When the captain orders batteries release, the launch cell erupts. A solid rocket booster ignites, shooting the missile vertically. The flash of light from the forward launcher blinds the bridge team for a split second. For 3 seconds, it climbs on rocket power. Then the booster falls away into the ocean. The turbofan engine starts, the missile transitions to cruise, and the mission is no longer in the ship's hands. It belongs to the sky. The missile immediately drops to extremely low altitude, sometimes just 50 feet above ground. How does it survive the world's most advanced air defenses? The secret is TERCOM, terrain contour matching. Most radars have a lower limit. They can't see what's hugging the Earth. Radar waves can't penetrate solid ground. The Tomahawk is pre-programmed with a 3-dimensional map of terrain. Using onboard sensors, it measures the ground below, following valleys and rivers like a high-speed ghost.
As it flies, radar constantly compares actual terrain to expected profiles. If a mountain rises, it climbs just enough to clear it, then drops immediately. It's traveling at 550 miles per hour, making split-second autonomous decisions. No pilot, no remote control. Enemy radar sees nothing. By the time anyone realizes what's happening, it's too late. As it nears the target, it switches to its digital eye, DSAM, Digital Scene Matching Area Correlation. It takes real-time photos of the area, comparing them to satellite imagery in its brain. It's looking for specific features, buildings, roads, terrain patterns that match exactly. If it doesn't see a match, it adjusts until the target is centered. It can circle, taking multiple photos until achieving perfect match. There is no escape. This is why Tomahawks achieve near 100% accuracy. They're visually confirming the target before impact. This precision separates American technology from Russian systems. When Russian GPS degrades, their accuracy suffers dramatically. The latest Block 4 and Block 5 variants have turned a simple missile into an intelligent drone. These variants can loiter over a battlefield, circling like a hawk, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. If a target is already destroyed, commanders can redirect the missile mid-flight to one of 15 different pre-programmed targets. The missile transmits battle damage imagery for real-time assessment. Block 5 adds enhanced anti-jamming. Russia and China invested billions in GPS spoofing. Block 5 counters with hardened GPS suites and redundant navigation. Even the most advanced electronic jamming from rivals like Russia or China can't shake it off its path. From the Gulf War to Libya, the Tomahawk has been the opening act of every major conflict. Libya, 2011, over 140 missiles wiped out Gaddafi's air defenses in a single weekend, allowing rebels to seize the initiative. NATO aircraft could operate freely. Within months, the regime collapsed. Syria, multiple strikes demonstrated precision. The 2017 Shayrat strike, the 2018 strikes hit chemical facilities with such accuracy that neighboring civilian structures were untouched. It's a tactical missile that delivers strategic-level damage, proving time and time again that American ingenuity is always one step ahead. Targets eliminated in hours from ships hundreds of miles away. No pilots at risk, yet strategic impact is overwhelming. Ukraine desperately needs this. Imagine striking the Kerch Bridge, cutting off tens of thousands of Russian troops, hitting Russian air bases where bombers attack Ukrainian cities, destroying command centers. The war would transform overnight. Russia's strategic depth would evaporate. Would Russia ever want Ukraine to have Tomahawks? Absolutely not. Russia sees this as existential threat. From Ukrainian territory, Tomahawks could reach Moscow, St. Petersburg, every major military installation, naval bases, air bases, oil refineries, command bunkers, all vulnerable. Russia's strategy depends on strategic depth, launching attacks from positions Ukraine can't reach. Tomahawks eliminate that advantage. But it goes beyond military impact. Right now, war feels distant for most Russians. Life in Moscow continues normally. If Tomahawks start hitting Russian targets, that changes instantly. Air raid sirens in Moscow, explosions in St. Petersburg, war comes home. History shows public support erodes when civilians face consequences. Putin understands this. His power depends on maintaining the narrative that war is controlled. Missile strikes on Russian soil would shatter that narrative. Russia would see this as a red line, but what could they do? Militarily, not much. Once missiles are in Ukrainian hands and dispersed, Russia can't eliminate them. Tomahawks launch from mobile platforms. Russia would escalate politically. Nuclear rhetoric, threats against NATO, cyber attacks, but these don't change immediate reality. If Ukraine can strike Russia, would Russia continue the war? Would commanders take risks if their headquarters were vulnerable? Wars end when costs exceed benefits. If costs increase dramatically, calculation changes. If Ukraine got Tomahawks, how would it affect the war? Be realistic. They're not magic. Russia still has numerical superiority, but Tomahawks would dramatically shift balance. Ukraine could eliminate untouchable targets. Russia forced defensive. air defenses stretched thin, resources dispersed. Strategically, calculation changes for Russian leadership. Currently, they believe time favors them. Tomahawks shatter that belief. When war comes home, pressure on Putin increases. Currently, analysts assess Ukraine's chances of regaining territory at 20 to 30%. With Tomahawks, I estimate 55 to 70%. Modern warfare favors precision over mass. Adding deep strike capability eliminates Russia's main advantage. Russia's chances of maximalist goals would drop to under 20%. Most likely outcome, negotiated settlement with terms favorable to Ukraine. Bottom line, Tomahawks would transform a difficult conflict into a winnable war where Russia faces untenable costs. The Tomahawk isn't just a missile, it's a warning. As long as it's in the arsenal, no bunker is deep enough and no target is out of reach.
It's strategic leverage. The decision to provide these weapons to Ukraine is one of the most consequential choices facing the West today. Russia fears this scenario. That fear tells you everything. If you believe in the power of American technology, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the world's most lethal machines and geopolitical strategy. Drop a comment below. Should America provide Tomahawks to Ukraine? What weapon should we cover next?
Thanks for watching. Stay informed, think critically, and remember, in modern warfare, technology is everything. See you in the next one.